And look, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair. I can't speak to that.
I can't speak to that, but I am gonna speak about that just a little bit to give you a few chuckles at Donald Trump's expense. So that was Ron DeSantis. And look, he could have slammed Trump a lot more. Maybe he will in the near future. And he did decline to get involved if they were to try to like go to Mar-a-Lago and haul Donald Trump out. He says he's not gonna get involved, which is also notably not a defense for Donald Trump. And so we speculated on yesterday's show that is going to lead to a nuclear response from Donald Trump. And we've already seen this on today's Preport. I showed Don Jr. attacking Ron DeSantis in an increasingly nasally, high-pitched voice. But now we have Donald Trump. And here's what he has to say about the governor of Florida. Ron DeSanctimonious will probably find out about false accusations and fake stories sometime in the future as he gets older, wiser, and better known. When he's unfairly and illegally attacked by a woman, even classmates that are underage, or possibly a man. I'm sure he will want to fight these misfits just like I do. And he included a screenshot of a tweet from Meidas Touch showing that photo of Ron DeSantis famously partying with students when he was much younger. And look, there's been reporting on that already. We covered it at the time. He does seem to have been kind of inappropriate, but so far as I've seen, there's been no accusations of affairs with students. But what you have right there, to be very clear, is a multi-pronged smear job against Ron DeSantis. Not only saying that he's gonna face these accusations, which could be read as a threat, but that they will come in the form of women making false accusations and possibly men too. And also, there is no, I guess, more taboo area for attacks on the right now than claiming that someone is a groomer. And that is clearly what Donald Trump is doing once again, Yasmin. So what do you think about this? Was this a bad call for Ron DeSantis to get involved at all?
I mean, he really doesn't need to get involved at all because the story is going to play out how it's going to play out regardless. And if it goes the way a lot of us think it will, it's going to work out pretty well for Ron DeSantis. But it is so funny to me how Trump keeps bringing up this picture of Ron DeSantis with underage girls as if he's never engaged in any kind of sexual misconduct himself, right? And I mean, it is an actual story that was covered. I think it was in the New York Times. I covered it on the breakdown even. And you're right, it probably should be a bigger story than it is. But if the Trump base is floundering between Trump and DeSantis now, I don't think they'll care about this picture. They didn't care about a lot of similar stories. So I don't think this picture will be the deciding factor between Trump and DeSantis for that particular MAGA base. But yeah. John, maybe Trump was just being very woke in that tweet by not assuming Ron DeSantis' sexuality. Maybe he's just being very open-minded. Maybe he's learning, maybe he's growing.
Yeah, I think, and it's very inspirational to see a guy at this advanced age still willing to question what he believes and knows. No, I don't think that's what it is. I think
you don't think so? You don't think that's what it is?
I think that we have already gotten to the point where we all suspected deep in our gut we were gonna get to, he's just calling Ron DeSantis gay.
He is.
That's what it is. It's nothing more lofty or philosophical or ideological than that. He's pointing at Ron DeSantis and saying,
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume, people can grow, John. Maybe that's what's happening. But seriously, the fact that DeSantis being gay can potentially destroy his political career is obviously bigoted and dumb. But it would expose the fact, that the party stands for very hypocritical things as far as their stance against the LGBTQ community. Yeah. So it's almost like they're being self-aware in the fact that they know that this would hurt their base. Yeah. Or their entire political party, rather.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously we don't want this sort of blatant homophobia to have any effect in elections. We can also comment at the same time and say, well, Ron DeSantis certainly has been stoking as much homophobia as anyone else in right-wing politics in recent years. It's also absurd so far as we know. Ron DeSantis is married, has been married for a long time. He has kids, and I know all of this because I'm never gonna be able to forget that weird political ad that he made years ago. He seems to be a straight man. And as Yasmin pointed out, man, people in glass houses aren't supposed to throw stones and all that. Donald Trump loves throwing stones that have been genetically engineered to pierce his own glass. Not only is he a guy who is known to have had affairs and all that, he has made any number of bizarre comments specifically about extremely young women. He made a comment on video once about this like 10-year-old girl is like, I'm gonna be dating you in a decade, which is probably optimistic, but also, why is that a thing that you're thinking about at all? It also brings to mind something that I have a feeling Ron DeSantis is probably immune from, which is like accusations of making weird sexualizing comments about your own daughter, which Donald Trump has done multiple times enthusiastically on multiple TV shows. So I don't know, maybe it's just you throw enough mud and it just sort of cancels out, or maybe like you said, I don't think that this attack is going to make a difference. And I agree that I don't think the substance of the attack will make a difference, but that doesn't mean that the attack or the attacks won't make a difference. Because again, I do think that this is primate behavior. I think that they bow down to the gorilla that throws the biggest lump of poo. And I don't think the content of the poo necessarily matters, what food went into its production, but they wanna see someone being aggressive. And Donald Trump does that better on the right than anyone else.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and I like your analogy, but I think something that Trump does very well is that he just keeps repeating things over and over and over again so that it's lodged in people's brains. So even though this DeSantis picture hasn't had the impact that he seems to want it to have on his base, if he keeps saying it enough times, eventually it might, eventually it might actually damage DeSantis and whatever image and brand he's trying to build leading up to whatever election he's about to be running in. So we'll see. And I mean, he has used this tactic before to great success, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll see. By the way, that tweet that we showed you, or the bleat of Donald Trump, he had an earlier one. We'll show you just briefly. Nikki McCann Ramirez, friend of the show, had tweeted this out. It was sort of a simpler, more stripped down attack. It was accusing him of potentially having had an affair with a woman and a man, but he decided to add on the groomer angle later. And by the way, this is not just a random attack. I mean, it is very much a random attack, but according to Rolling Stone, Trump has spent months privately soliciting and regurgitating various bits of salacious gossip about DeSantis, including unverified allegations about his private life. At the time, this is from a couple months ago, Rolling Stone declined to publish where the president had been spreading these things, but one of the uncorroborated or baseless rumors that Trump was gossiping about was in fact about DeSantis supposedly being gay, according to two people familiar with the comments. Again, this should not even be a thing that you can attack someone over, and it appears to be utter nonsense. I have no idea where he's getting it from, but this is probably going to be a recurring thing. Like, why not? For the the super broken version of masculinity, or what passes for masculinity on the right, claiming that someone's gay is probably going to be effective. So Ron DeSantis should buckle up. Oh, by the way, he's also doing really bad. If we go to this last graphic, he's trailing Trump now by 28 points in recent polls. And this is while Trump is at risk of potentially being locked up. It's just pathetic.